Oh, okay. Let me grab the microphone, pull it right here, and say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's good to see you all here. And if this is your first time watching the video, please subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJPB community. And my veteran subscribers, thank you once again for helping support the channel. Today, we're going to do something a little bit differently. I've been seeing a lot of news about this Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of an adventure and we're going to go see what's going on with that. And I'm going to take you all along with me. Okay, let's get the party started. Let's do an investigation. Ryzen 5 5700X 3D. Let's see what comes up. I told you guys I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take you on a little bit of an adventure to see what they got cooking. Okay. Well, it seems that Tech Power Up seems to be the only one that really brings something up about the Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. I know Video Cards does, and I know WCCF Tech does as well. Let's see what they have to say. I'm changing things up today. Okay, the AMD socket AM4 users are in for a treat as the company plans 2 more processor models in the 5000X 3D series, according to Chili Dog, a reliable source with AMD leaks. Although based on the older Zen 3 microarchitecture, you guys know, microarchitecture. These chips feature 3D vertical cache technology, which helps shore up the gaming performance to levels comparable at least to 12th gen Intel Core Alder Lake, giving socket AM4 platform users a cost-effective upgrade to prolong their gaming PC build that could be as old as 5 years. Well, they say old as 5 years now. If you recall, the AMD has formally extended Zen 3 Vcache support to all socket AM4 chipset generations, including the AM300 series. So you could use it's from what this is saying, you could use a 300 series motherboard with the processor. I would imagine there's a BIOS update you would have to do for that to get Zen 3. You probably got Zen 1 and Zen 2 off of 300 series and not Zen 3. But if they allow the support for the Zen 3 500 series, then, you'll be able to update it then. But make sure that the 300 series motherboard has BIOS flashback on it. And that you can update to the 5000 series. So I know the 400 series, you can do that because I got a B450 motherboard that I updated it to the 5000 series that I know it can do up to the 5700X which I have already tested, the 5700X and the B450 motherboard, which runs fine. So I'm going to tell you that. The 5700X runs fine. So that, just get that out of your mind right now. And it's an Asus motherboard, by the way. So there it is. And yes, even though everybody shunned Asus away from everything, you know what? Y'all a bunch of haters. I'm not shunning Asus for nothing. I'm not, no matter what happens, they have their mistakes. Everybody has their mistakes. Get over yourself. I'm sorry, get over yourself. Because obviously you're steering the community in the wrong direction and telling them don't go near Asus. You all a bunch of sick haters. All the crap that AMD has pulled, all the crap that NVIDIA has pulled, all the crap that Gigabyte has pulled, MSI and all that, compared to what Asus had, the little mishap they had, come on. Do you really think that the chip blowing up, the processor blowing up was all Asus's fault? No, they have to go by guidelines structured by AMD. They have to go by the guidelines, and the only thing they can add to it is a little bit of tweak and peek here and there. So you're blaming a company for another company's fault. Do your homework before you decide to judge a company on their faults, which I did my homework. I have 3 Asus motherboards. 3. I have my main PC, I have my sleeper build, and I have the new build that I'm going to be doing with another Asus motherboard, the Asus Tough. So you guys can say whatever you want about Asus, but I'm going to give Asus their prompts because I got an Asus RTX 4070. It might have an NVIDIA chip in it, but it's Asus PCB. So you have to understand that. And with the capabilities it has, kudos to you, Asus. You have my best hopes and dreams for your speedy future. And you guys got a lot of future going on, you know. So that's my grab from this. And I'm not going to say anything bad about, you know, companies themselves. Okay. Hardware does the talking. If you listen to the hardware enough, then you'll understand that the hardware is doing the talking, not the company. The people that are putting this stuff together, they're doing the talking, not the company. The company does and advertises for that product. Did they actually, the CEOs, build that product? No. The hands inside of their company did. So the thing is this. When it comes to going from AMD to an Asus motherboard, okay, if you got problems with your Asus motherboard, okay, then get with Asus and RMA the board. Simple as that. Don't go above and beyond trying to fix it yourself. If you can't get it RMA'd, then there's something you physically done to the motherboard to make him not RMA it. So I have never yet had a product I had to RMA to Asus. Never. That tells you how long-standing their products are with me. And that's very long-standing. So make sure y'all got your drink and snacks, by the way. Back to this reporting. Okay, so amongst the 2 new processor models a Ryzen 7 5700X 3D and Ryzen 5 5500X 3D. You know why they did the 5500X 3D? Because they already did. Well, let's see if we got it right here. Yeah, we do. And I'm going to show you all real quick. I know I've showed it many of times, but I'm going to show you all again. Look at this. The 5600X 3D come out. I have the 5600X 3D waiting to go into a build, which I'm still working on what kind of graphics card I want. I still haven't decided yet. And I know it's been over a month or two since I wanted to start this build, but I still haven't decided what graphics card I wanted. There's so many on the market. I am trying to base it upon the user that's going to be using this processor. And they're going to be using it long term. So, and I've already tested the processor. I've already benchmarked the processor. I've already did all that on previous videos. So you got to, I'm not going to tell you what video, you got to go find it. You got to watch all the videos from beginning to end to find that video. Now, if you find that video, make sure you post it down below. I found the video and what video it was. And then I'll reply to you and say, job well done. That lets me know you're watching the video. So I'm not going to tell you in the description where the video is, but I can tell you the video is there. So you got to go watch them. You know, I'm not going to make it as easy as everybody else does. Okay. I'm not going to put timestamps on my videos. I'm not going to do all that horse shit. That's horse shit. That's basically if you want to advance through the video in any point in time, you're more than happy to. Okay. But for me to put timestamps and everything else and all that happy horse shit on videos, no. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Is for the simple fact I'd rather waste my time, not waste my time. I'd rather spend my time in doing new videos and new things that are coming about for the channel, other than wasting my time on this little nitpick crap that they put out there. I heard some about the reels and everything else, you know, the YouTube reels and everything else. And everybody says, oh, go to reels and this and that, you know, whatever. Okay, I don't have time for that. So, getting back to this, it's an 8-core, 16-thread processor with 100 megabytes of total cache. Okay, so let me understand this. Let us understand this together. 100 megabytes, right here, it says 100 megabytes of total cache. That's 512 KB of L2 cache, right? Per core, plus 96 megabytes of L3 cache. Okay, so doing the math, so you got 96 plus, and this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. 96 plus, let's say 6-core, 12-thread. Okay, so 96 plus 6 is 102. So that's 102 megabytes. But where's L1? Okay, so don't you get 96 KB on every core for L1? Where's L1 cache? That's going to be the question. So where's that? That don't tell me much. 100 megabytes? No. That kind of begs to differ a little bit. Now, with the Ryzen 5 5600, Ryzen 5 5500X 3D is a 6-core, 12-thread, 99 megs of total cache. Okay, so this one right here, they're saying 99. Still, it's going to be 101.5. So you're only dropping 1 meg off, so it's going to be 101.5. What sets the 5700X3D and the 5500X3D apart from the 5800X3D and the 5600X3D, okay, are lower clock speeds and possibly lower TDP. Both chips come with the base frequency of 3 gigahertz. Come on, guys. 3 gigahertz? Are you freaking serious right now? 3 gigahertz. Okay. Well, the base on this is 3.3 gigahertz. So, yeah. Okay. Didn't look at the baseline, but you know, I just looked at where it can go up to, and this says it goes up to 4.4 gigahertz. So that's it's 4.350 gigahertz. It goes up to for some reason it lost like 50 megahertz. I have no idea why, but I can't tell you. So, compared to the 3.3 gigahertz at 5600X3D and 3.4 gigahertz of the 5800X3D, the 5700X3D boost up to 4.10 gigahertz compared to the 4.5 gigahertz of the 5800X3D. While the 5500X3D boost up to 4 gigahertz compared to the 4.4 gigahertz of the 5600X3D. Okay, so both the 58 and the 5600X3D have their TDP rating at 105 watts, which is bullshit. Okay, I'm going to tell you it's bullshit. Maybe the 5800X3D does, but I can tell you the 5600X3D doesn't. I could only pull the 5600X3D up to a max rating of 85 watts. I could not pull it to 105 watts. It did not. I mean, I tried everything, and I could not get it up to over 100. I couldn't get it to 105. You only can go about 85, which is good for me. I'm not. I mean, I stay in between 65 and 85 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the performance is really up there. So compared to the 5700X, I can tell you it's like neck and neck with the 5700X. So, but there are some games it pulls over the 5700X. Do keep that in mind. I mean, it pulls closer to I bet you it'd pull closer to the 5800X than it would the 5700X. So, price point, I mean, you're talking a $200 processor. The 5600X3D, you're talking $200 processor. Well, $220 processor. But if you're looking at the 5700X3D, you know, it all depends on what they're thinking about a price for that. Using lower TDP and PPT values for the 5700X3D and the 5500X3D. There's no word on when the two new chips are coming out, which I told you guys that earlier. Although AMD continues to release the socket updates to the AM4 AGESA microcode, with the latest version combo AM4 version 2, AM4 version 221.2.0.b being released as recently as September of 2023. So this means it's already out. So let's keep moving on and see what else we can find. Oh, that looks like it's pretty much downtown there. So that's pretty much what they have there for that. Okay. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. So that way we don't make it a long, long video. Make it a nice and short, short video. So my final thoughts on this. Okay, the way I look at it is this. The 5700X3D might be a viable chip, a processor. That might be something that you might be looking for if you're looking, if they do it a lower end processor and price wise. If they do price wise, if they do it below, let's say, if they do it below $230, or I wouldn't even say, I mean, because they did the 5600X3D above $200. So it would be nice. It would really be nice if AMD decided to do the 5700X3D, you know, in around the same price range as the 5600X3D. Because, you know, the 5700X3D is not going to be pushing numbers all the way over the 5800X3D. We should already know this. It would probably push numbers right up there with the 5800X. But, you know, competitive, it might be competitive with the 5800X3D. It might not be. You know, you might be looking at, you know, maybe 20 or 30 FPS less than the 5800X3D. So it could be viable at about 230, 240 bucks max. But do keep in mind the AM5 series, which they do have processors that down there at the same price level as that. But when it comes to the, if you look at the benchmarks for the 5800X3D, it's keeping up with the 7000 series processors. Like your 7800X3D, it's keeping up with that still. And it's last gen. It's AM4 compared to the AM5. And it's keeping up there with the 7800X3D. So, might be something to think about. Now, if the 5700X3D keeps up with the class of the 7700 series, the 7700, the 7700X, then you got a great AM4 processor. Now, with the 5600X3D that I got, should be keeping up with the 7600 on the 7000 series, AM5. Should be keeping up. But as far as that, it should be keeping up with the 7600. I mean, should be. I haven't seen much testing on that yet. The comparison between the 5600X3D and the 7600 or the 7600X to see if there's a difference between the two. I mean, let's look at the price wise. Okay, let's do ourselves a freaky favor. And, you know, I'm going to type in Amazon. I'm going to open up two browsers. I'm going to type Amazon. I know I always go to Amazon because I always get something on the price. So we get something close on the price. Now I'm going to spend this extra couple minutes with y'all just to prove, you know, a point. Let's see. We said... Well, we can't do the price on the 5600X3D. We already know it's at $229. That's what I paid for mine because it's only available at Micro Center. So that's the only way you were able to get it. If you got your hands on it, then kudos to you. If you didn't get your hands on it, I do apologize for it. So let's see what the prices are on the Ryzen 7700. Or did I say 77? 7600. 7600. Okay. So now it's a 6-core 12 thread, the 7600. That's at $200. Oh, why don't I just take and bring you guys over there so you can see what I'm doing? Let's go back to the action screen. Okay, so they got the 7600 at $199. That's not bad at all. 7600X, it looks like they got a price at $241.99, $242. The 5700X, they got it at $169, which is when I paid for it about, quite a few months ago. That was the same price I paid for it quite a few months ago. So the price hasn't went up or went down. Just to let you know that so we can clear the air on that. 5800X, that's at $217. So it would have been a better deal for me to, instead of spending $229 on this 5600X 3D, I could have went up to the 5800X for cheaper price. So that kind of brings in light of what's going on. Now the 5600X is $156.46. This is today's price. This ain't yesterday's price. This is today's price in real time. So this video gets posted today. This is in real time today. So you get the real time looks. Look at this. 7600 with the B650P motherboard. Okay, not a bad deal. $469, not a bad deal. 7600X, wow. They go from 7600X, 7600X. Got one here with the Gigabyte motherboard. This was MSI, this is Gigabyte. So it's got the DS3H, which is a good motherboard, for $409. Not a bad deal. Those are not a bad deal if you're looking for 7600X. Now, okay, you guys got a pretty good idea of what you're looking for when it comes to a system. To be honest with you, I mean, the only one that I see that would be viable to keep competitive with the AM4 series would be the AM5 series, would be the 7600X. You guys want to know how to get up to the next platform? Then it would be the 7600X. And you can do it with the motherboard, the Gigabyte, the B650 DS3H, which isn't that bad of a motherboard. Sorry. Make sure you get your drinking snacks, by the way. Which I think the 7600X and the Gigabyte motherboard would make a great combo for inexpensive AM5 series platform. It's an upscale to the next platform. I think it'd be really good. But that's my thought for today on this video, and that's my response. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And my veteran subscribers, as always, much love to you for all that you do. But until the next time and the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next video.